All right, so you know how everyone's all about spooky stuff for Halloween?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to dive into something that might creep you out a little bit too.
Okay.
But it's not ghosts or goblins. It's way more real.
More like skeletons in the digital closet.
Ah, exactly. We're talking about the digital Panopticon.
Yeah.
I feel like every move you make online is like being watched.
Oh,
You
yeah, definitely. Like someone's always peeking over your shoulder, seeing what you click on, where you go, all that.
Exactly. And that's not just paranoia. There's actually a lot of truth to it. We're going to unpack all of that today.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of sources for this deep dive, a podcast episode, some really interesting research papers, even some historical stuff.
And by the end, you'll have a much better grasp on what this whole digital panopticon thing really means.
Hmm.
So to kick things off, let's rewind the clock a bit. We're going to talk about this dude, Jeremy Bentham.
Oh, yeah, Bentham. He was a philosopher back in the 1700s, came up with this prison design called the Panopticon.
Yeah, the OG panopticon. So picture this. A circular prison with a central watchtower right in the middle.
Right, and from that tower, guards can see every single prisoner.
But here's the catch. The prisoners can't see into the tower. They never know if they're actually being watched at any given moment.
It's like this constant potential for surveillance, right?
Right, exactly. So the prisoners start to act like they're always being watched, just in case.
Makes sense. It's like, why risk it?
Yeah, and that's where it becomes this powerful tool for control. You don't even need that many guards because the prisoners are essentially policing themselves. Fast forward to today, and it's kind of creaky how this idea applies to our digital lives.
Oh, totally. I mean, think about it. Our online activity is like those prison cells, constantly generating data.
It's true. Every website you visit, every search you make, every comment, it's all being tracked.
And that's not even mentioning the location data from our phones.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
Scary stuff. And who are the guards in this digital panopticon?
Well, think of the big tech companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, all of them.
Right. They're the ones collecting and analyzing all that data, building these crazy detailed profiles of us.
And it's not just for, like, targeted advertising anymore.
No, it goes way beyond that. These profiles could be used for all sorts of things.
Yeah, like influencing what news you see, the job opportunities you get, even loan approvals.
It's kind of freaky when you think about it. We actually found this stat in the Future Minds podcast that really blew our minds. 79% of Americans are concerned about how their data is used.
79%. That's a lot of people.
Right. I mean, it makes you wonder, what exactly are people worried about?
I think it's this feeling of powerlessness, like we've lost control over our own information.
And it's not just corporations, right? Governments are in on this too.
Absolutely. Remember Edward Snowden and all those revelations about government surveillance programs?
Oh yeah, like PRISM, that was a big one.
Huge. Basically, it allowed intelligence agencies to collect data directly from tech companies. Phone calls, emails, text messages, the whole shebang.
And it's happening on a massive scale. Glenn Greenwald's book, No Place to Hide, really lays it all out.
Yeah, that book is mind-blowing. It really makes you question where the line is between national security and individual privacy.
That line definitely seems to be getting blurrier and blurrier. But even if we set aside the whole government surveillance thing, there's still the impact of social media algorithms to think about.
Oh yeah, those algorithms are sneaky. They track every click and scroll, creating these echo chambers where we're only exposed to information that confirms what we already believe.
Right. It's like you search for something once and suddenly your whole feed is filled with stuff related to that.
And that can be dangerous, right? Because it prevents us from encountering different perspectives, challenging our own beliefs.
Totally. It's like we're all stuck in our own little bubbles, and those bubbles are getting harder and harder to escape.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about, like, limiting our access to information.
Right. It's also about shaping our understanding of the world, maybe even manipulating our opinions and behaviors without us even realizing it.
Definitely. And then you add in things like facial recognition technology, which is becoming more and more widespread.
Oh yeah, facial recognition is a whole other can of worms. The ACLU says that over 70% of U.S. cities are already using it.
That many. Wow, that's wild. I mean, it can be useful for things like identifying suspects in criminal investigations, but it also raises a ton of privacy concerns.
Definitely. What happens when it's used to track people's movements in public spaces?
Yeah.
Or to target individuals based on their race or other characteristics?
That's the scary part. And there's often not enough oversight or regulation to prevent those kinds of abuses.
It's like the technology is advancing so quickly that our laws and ethical frameworks can't keep up. But it's not all bad news, right?
Mhm.
There are people and organizations fighting back against this whole surveillance creep.
Absolutely. There are groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, who are doing amazing work.
Yeah, the EFF is awesome. They're advocating for stronger privacy laws and pushing tech companies to be more transparent about how they collect and use our data.
They're really fighting for our digital rights, trying to make sure technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
So the digital panopticon, it's not some far-off dystopian future. It's here now.
It's our reality.
And understanding how it works is the first step in taking back control of our digital lives.
Exactly. So think about it. What are you willing to do to protect your own privacy in this digital age? Are you okay with trading some convenience for more privacy? It's a tough question, but one we all need to consider because the choices we make today are going to shape the digital world of tomorrow.
It's definitely something to ponder. And that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.